Hunting the Shadows. Hello, friends. Welcome. Come on in. This is another episode of Hunting the Shadows. I'm your host, Dennis Carroll, and we've got a lot of ground to cover tonight. Now, last week we did demon animals when nature goes bad. Tonight we're going to be doing ghost animals when your pets come back, so to speak. I've had a lot of cases of this, and that's what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. First, though, we're going to get some current events out of the way. Want to welcome everybody in here. Let me get my comments up here and see what we've got going on in the chat room here. Hello, Juno. Shiro, my good friend Shiro is here. Wildman's mom, my brother Midwest, my other brother David, Lester, and we've got the girl and her gong. Hello. Hope you're having a good evening or day wherever you're at there. And Tess, hello Tess, welcome aboard. We're all fixing to board the strange train and head down the highway to high strangeness here. Okay. Kyle Smith and hello Philip. Want to give a shout out to Philip who bought some of my books today. Appreciate that, my friend. And I hope you will enjoy them and enjoy reading them just as much as I enjoyed writing them. And got some more. Speaking of books, okay, got a little announcement here. Hold on, let me pull this up. I'm getting very close to getting this done. The God Game, okay, Children of the Serpent. All right. That's going to be my next book. And believe me, this is a wild book. Okay. And it is, I'm going deep into it. This is a very dark book. Okay. Because it's actually has to do with the true nature of what we're facing in this world today. It's actually going to talk about the true fate of mankind, the God Game. And definitely you do not want to participate in the God Game, okay? And without a doubt, it's bad stuff. And this is, hold on, I'll read you the promo on this right quick. It's very short. It won't bore you. I have to pull Facebook up here because I just released this on Facebook a few minutes ago, and I know a lot of you don't check Facebook on a regular basis or whatever, but this is basically what it says. Let me get it up here. All right, I'm slow tonight. I'm cold and I'm slow. Okay, I'm just cold out. Okay, this is the promo. This is what it says. The God Game, Children of the Serpent. It says cloning, AI, robotics, and immortality. The race to become human gods at any cost. The seeds of destruction are sown, and the destiny of mankind has been written. So be watching for the God Game, okay? I hope you'll enjoy it when we get a chance to finally get it done. It's all done and published for you. But it's, I hope, going to be a very interesting book. It is very interesting to write. Let's put it that way, because it's true, and every bit of it is taking place right in front of us today. Okay, I want to give another shout out to my friend Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress. I want to congratulate her. She's hit today. I did a show with her today, and we celebrated her 7,000 subscribers. Okay, push it on towards 8, Jessica. Definitely. You did a fantastic job. She has a fantastic show, and she always comes up. I admire her mind. She always comes up with some great subjects, and without a doubt, she has a fantastic show. So check her out and check our show out today. We did a show on the gin, okay, the genies in the bottle, okay. So it is a very interesting. So if you didn't get a chance to catch it, check it out, okay. Wild Man's Moms at the doctor's in. Please take a seat. If you have a thumb you can use it anytime now. Definitely ring that bell. We want subscribers. We want you. We want those. We want to be shared out. We want to reach as many people as possible. Okay, we want our family to grow. Okay, that's the best kind of families, they grow. Got to work in the morning at 3 a.m. Okay, David, I hear you. Yes, sir. Don't forget now, David. You got to send me some pictures of those stickers on your trucks. Okay, don't forget that now. All right, and let's see who else we've got in here. Gonna give a shout out. Hello, Crystal. Good to have you here, Crystal. And Crystal's one of my big fans. Okay, Crystal and I go way back. Okay, Kyle, and I got Kyle and Roger Blair. Hello, Roger. Aussie Sue. Hello, my good friend Aussie. That's my paranormal sister there. Aussie Sue. And let's see who else we got coming in here. Got a YouTube user. Okay, YouTube user. I hope you have subscribed to the Hunting the Shadows. Okay, don't forget that. Griff, good to have you here. And let's see what we got. Some new comments coming up here. Yeah, check out the Cryptid Hunter show today, because we had a fantastic show on the gin. Okay, it was just remarkable. She and I both have done a lot of research on this, and we tell some very interesting things about it. If you haven't got a chance to hear it, watch it, do so. Okay, you will not be disappointed. Okay, and so moving right along here. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. And I am also still in production on the Midnight Road. Excursions of the Unknown. Okay, it's coming. Okay, it's coming, folks. And Crystal says, yes, you've known me a whole 45 years of my life. Ooh, don't tell how old you are now. Okay. All right. And let's see. We got Rhonda. Hello, Rhonda. Good to have you aboard. We're fixing to take a little journey down the highway to high strangeness. Ghost animals, okay? And, ghost animals are a very interesting subject, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit tonight. I've had a lot of cases where people, what I said last week, I don't know if you got a chance to see the show last week. If you didn't, go back and check it out, because it was a very interesting one on demon animals when nature turns evil. We had a very interesting talk on that. But what I said about animals last week is very true. They have a spirit, okay? Anything that it has a spirit has the capacity to come back, or it never goes away in that respect. And animals, our animals, especially our fairy dogs and our fairy children, our fur children, they love us. They have a bond with us, okay? That is, if we're good to them and treat them right and they respect us in that respect, they will show you unconditional love, okay, without a doubt. And that is a fantastic kind of love, folks. Okay. But if even that bond of love cannot be broken sometimes by death. And that's a very interesting aspect of what we think. So we're going to talk about tonight on that. Hello, Anna. And Ann's here too. Hello, Ann. Don't want to leave you out. And uh, so that is an interesting aspect of that. Now I want to tell you a little something. I don't know if you know if you're familiar with if you're familiar with Lorraine Warren that much. Lorraine Warren, Ed and Lorraine Warren, very famous, very well known, and I've studied a lot of what they've done, a lot of their work. I've been students of their work for a long time in many aspects. They had an incident where their animals actually came back. They had a dog which was a German Shepherd, and it passed. Sadly, it passed away. Whatever happened to it, I don't know, but it passed away. But they said for several nights, for weeks after, they would see this dog or a silhouette of the dog, and he liked to sit on his doghouse, kind of like Snoopy. He liked to sit on top of his doghouse, and they could actually see his shadow in the dark on that doghouse for many weeks after he passed. And I have had many stories and many people tell me that they hear their dogs, their dogs long after they pass, or their cats too. That seem they haven't left. They're still lingering about, but only in a spiritual form. It's fascinating stuff. Cindy Winter says, such a great show today with the Cryptid Hunters. I agree with everything you all discussed. I learned a few things I didn't know. That's good, Cindy Wendy. It's always good to learn. I always love to learn something, definitely. Hello, John. Did you ever meet Ed and Lorraine Warren? I met Lorraine. Okay, that's where I got the story from. Actually, Lorraine was really nice. I liked her. She was okay. Ed, I never got to meet. Unfortunately, he passed away before I actually ever met him. But I did meet Lorraine for just a few minutes. It was a very brief thing. I didn't really get into a good discussion with her. I would have liked to, but unfortunately, I think the next year after that, she passed. So they're both gone now. But I kind of liked, I'll put it this way, I'm not, I didn't have anything against Lorraine, but I kind of liked Ed. I kind of had an unknown kind of a bond with Ed. He and I we thought a lot alike. And I think that's why I kind of was more partial to him, although I never got to meet him, actually. But he was actually supposedly, and this is what Lorraine told me, that he was actually attacked spiritually, and that precipitated him having a heart attack, from which he never recovered, by the way. Interesting story. If you've never read any of their books, I would suggest you check out a few of them because there's some fascinating stuff in there. But here's one more thing about Ed and Lorraine that kind of bothered me about them, especially Lorraine. It was more politically, publicity minded in many aspects. They were all about they were deep into promoting themselves more than they really should have been, in my book. But that's my own personal feeling about that. I'm not going to badmouth them. I like them. I like their work, and I learned a lot from them. And at the time of the Ed and Lorraine Warren were very well known and all that. That was when I was learning, especially about demonology and stuff like that. Some other people I learned more, just as much about demonology from, besides Ed and Lorraine. There were a lot of other people. One was Lester Sumrall. Sumrall, if you've never read any of his books, he was a fantastic preacher, but he was also a great teacher. And he taught a lot of good and interesting things. So there's a lot of good books, a lot of good writers out there that you need to check out if you're interested in that, definitely. But anyway, getting back to the ghost thing, the ghost animal things, there are many stories of animals that never passed. They're still with us, supposedly. They can be seen sometimes and they cannot be seen sometimes. Dogs play a big part in this, but that doesn't leave cats out either. As a matter of fact, I had a woman tell me one time that she had a pet parrot that passed away. and said that she was very close to this parrot, and when it died, she was very distraught about it, of course. And she said that for weeks after that, she would hear it in that cage. She kept the cage, she couldn't bear to part with the cage, and she said she would hear it in that cage, and she would hear it making noises and all that, and as if it were still there. Very fascinating stuff. Do our animals have such a great bond to us that they won't even leave us in death? That's an interesting concept when you think about it. But I've had, like I said, many cases where they actually never see the animal, but they hear it or they feel it. There was one woman I talked with, she had a pet cat, and she said for still to this day, every now and then she feels that cat brush her leg. You know how cats will do. They get up, kind of rub your leg and all that. She feels this cat once in a while. And it's almost as if it's telling her, hey, I'm still here, mama. I'm still watching out for you, kind of a thing, And it's kind of neat when you think about that. John Fulton said there's always a twist in the helping profession, isn't there? Do you get your change charge from healing, physical, mental, and spiritual? If you do, you can do it full time. If you don't, you still have. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it does go down to that, John, in many aspects. Hey, JoJo. Good to have you here. By the way, JoJo, I got your comment on one of my shows, but for some reason it won't show up on YouTube. But I wanted to tell you I got your comment, okay, JoJo? And I appreciate your support, definitely. Hello, Millie. And anyway, I find it very fascinating that animals who have a spirit, I think about them, anything that has that capacity to love, that includes horses. I'm not leaving the horses out. Even cows. I've seen some cows that people have made pets out of, kind of makes you feel bad when you eat a hamburger, okay, when you think about that. I mean, they make a pet out of these animals and they become part of the family, I've even seen people do this with wild animals such as deer, foxes, raccoons, squirrels. It's amazing. And some of these, what a surprise is amazing to me, it makes me feel good, is that these things can actually show love. So human beings aren't the only things that can actually express love. And love is a very strong bond, a very strong spiritual bond, okay? And I don't think death can even stop it sometimes, without a doubt. Anyway, if any of you have had any experiences with ghost animals and all that, speak up. It's fine. I want to hear some feedback on it, because it is a fascinating subject. And you do have some supposedly kind of malevolent type ghost animals. And we talked a little bit about them last week, but you have some that haunt crossroads and places that and they can be, instead of antagonistic, they're sort of what we call warning animals. In other words, they're there to warn you sometimes about maybe something approaching, not just approaching death, but maybe some kind of catastrophe, something going on. It's almost like that they come there to give you a special warning, or in that certain place at that certain time. These ghost animals have been known to do that. I'm a vegetarian because they're all people to me. There you go. One of my uncles, Roger Blair, says had a groundhog as a pet. There you go. I mean, they can form a bond with us. That's not only I don't think only just an emotional bond. And yes, animals have emotions, okay? They can get mad, they can get sad, they can get depressed, just like we do. But they also can form a spiritual bond. And that's what we're talking about tonight, without a doubt. Yeah, foxes are a good YouTube user, definitely. I see ghost cats. My 17-year-old cat passed, and I saw him sitting in his carrier. We would do the travel to the vet for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's, here's the thing about the carriers, John. To a lot of these animals, the carrier symbolizes safety. So it would make perfect sense for them to come back to that carrier, because that's where they felt safe. They felt good in that to a certain extent, because, it's a closed-in area. Like, they feel safe in places like that. Yeah, I've seen people, by the way, because they'll make pets out of foxes, and they make great pets, by the way. But like I say, you got to remember they still have a wildness to them, more so than even dogs and cats. Although, like I said last week, any of these things, hey Tracy, any of these things has the capacity to go bad or to have a problem and turn on you. So you got to remember that any animal, people do that, okay? Much less animals. People are subject and prone to that. Look at all the psychos out there running around right now. You got to remember, nothing is off the board, nothing's off the table when it comes to things like that. YouTube user says, looked after a wild cocky bird once. I had a pup at the time called Ripper. I released the cocky well and happy. It used to fly over every 6 months, calling out Ripper, Ripper, freaked everyone out. That's interesting. They animals, here's the thing about science now. Science says that animals have short-term memories. I do not believe that. I believe they have long-term memories, just like we do. I have seen dogs meet their owner after their owner's been gone or whatever, been separated from them for a year or so. Those animals will go wild. I've seen a dog one time pass out. He got so excited. These dogs do not forget these people, okay? And I don't believe animals have short-term. I believe they have long-term memories. I think science is wrong about that. John Fortman says, I saw and felt stuff in the veterinary teaching hospital. I felt little critters brush against my leg more than once. I saw a veterinary doctor in white coat rushing past for a blink of an eye. Yeah, you see things like that, definitely, John. Especially in places like hospitals and stuff like that. So what we talked about on Jessica's show today, places of trauma, like battlefields, hospitals, morgues, but whatever the situation is, it seems that the spiritual entities are drawn to these places. Definitely. Dawsey Sue says they definitely have long-term memories. Absolutely. I do not believe science on that. I believe they can remember a whole lot more than we think. And I think they are a lot more intelligent than science gives them credit for, too. Absolutely. Wildman's mom says our small dog can spell. He is smart. Too smart. He's too smart for his own britches sometimes. If he does wear britches. John Fortman says, in our current house, I see an orange Tom. I don't know, sitting in spirit in an alleyway. Our house was built in 1866, and it came with a Siamese ghost cat. Look, that's interesting. If I've ever wondered if they remember them as puppies, that's so neat. Yeah. Let's see, our small dog. Let's see, I'm getting behind in my things here. I've had several dogs in my life, Roger Blair says, and each one had a different personality and attitude. Oh, yeah, they just like people. They are people in a way, but they're just on a somewhat different intelligent level than we are. But that doesn't make them any less, worthy of things like that, When our beautiful dog Sasha was put to rest in my arms, she was 19 years old, and I felt her spirit go through me. It was overwhelming and amazing. Oh, yeah, I definitely have a spirit. Any living thing that has the capacity to love. I'm not talking about a tree now. I don't know if a tree can love you. Maybe it's possible. But I'm talking about something that actually has a spiritual love about it. I think can have that bond with us, without a doubt. I've had too many stories, too many things happen that tell me that, you hear of dogs finding their way home after 3 years. Yes, they have an uncanny sense of doing so like that. Tracy Hull says, I was watching my dog sleeping and dreaming the other day. He has a senior dog, and he had the biggest smile on his face. I believe he's remembering in his dream happening. Probably, Tracy, was chasing a rabbit in his dream. Okay. Actually, I'm going to tell you this. I've actually done funerals for animals. And I would always say in the prayer at the funeral, I would say, let them rest at your feet, Lord, and turn them loose in your fields to chase rabbits and have a fun time and enjoy themselves. And that, to me, that would be heaven for animals like that, for dogs and cats and stuff, that they would get to run wild in the fields with nothing to worry about and all that, and then rest at the feet of God. That is, to me, an interesting scenario, without a doubt. John Fulton says that's one of the neighbor's porch cats died. I saw her approaching in a particular dipped head pose when I described the pose to her. First, she said that was how she always greeted her. Oh yeah, a lot of cats and dogs will kind of bow their head a little bit, and do a little bit different thing. I've seen that. Tales from the dark side. Hello. I have vivid dreams of my sweet dog Grace occasionally like she's paying me a visit. Well, sometimes, here's an interesting thing, Tales from the dark side. We can be visited sometimes by spirits in our dreams. I believe that without a doubt. I've had too many cases, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad, where these things will happen. When you're in a dream state, I believe that you're in a spiritual state that opens you up to this kind of visitation or this kind of a connection. Without a doubt, I believe that happens. When you see photos of dogs laying on their owners' graves, it's so heartfelt. Definitely, JoJo. They actually, I've seen dogs dig into the graves trying to get closer to their master. It's amazing. It's amazing. And anything that has that kind of capacity to love has a strong spirit about it, without a doubt. I have more spirit animals around me than people want. There you go. Maybe you're open to that, and maybe they feel that and know that sensitivity you have on that. Tell us from the dark side. I've had dreams with deceased loved ones as well. It's rare, but it happens. I believe that in a way that is them coming back and talking to us. And I've had a lot of cases where people have had relatives pass on, and they say that those relatives will come to them in a dream and say, "I'm okay. You got nothing to worry about. I'm happy, and I want to come back to tell you that so that you will feel better," and all that. This actually happens in dreams, and that's just too vivid. That's just too patent not to be something that's very real in that respect. Not just your mind doing that, but I think there's something else beyond that, without a doubt. JoJo, eldest sister, breeded long-haired rabbits. I was bringing home all different colored wild rabbits, which got caught in traps. My father always fixed their legs up. I hate to see those traps. I don't care what kind of animals it is. I think that traps should be outlawed. They should not be sold. I don't believe they should be doing that with traps. That's a terrible thing to do to an animal. Okay, that's just one thing I don't like. Crystal Kelsey almost lost her 5-month-old and pulley pup. Had to put her to sleep with a piece of wood got stuck in her throat, and she couldn't breathe hardly. So glad she wasn't taken from us so soon. Yeah, well, I'm gonna tell you what, Crystal. I had that happen with my dog Zach. He used to have a bad habit of getting rocks out of the yard and hold them in his mouth. And I would bring him back in the house, and I said, "Oh, you got something in your mouth." I make him spit it out. He would actually spit it out. He knew he wasn't doing the right thing. Why he wanted to, but it would have been so easily for them to swallow something like that. And, dogs are very bad about swallowing stuff like that, toys or whatever. And you have to never give them anything small that they can swallow. Of course, you didn't know that. He probably picked a stick up and brought it in and wanted to gnaw on the stick a little bit, and it went down the wrong way. That's bound to happen. My dog will never touch a bone. I will never give them bones or anything like that. It's not good because they can tear their insides up and all that. So we have to be very careful. We got to watch out for them, definitely. But my dog used to have that bad habit. I would catch him with a rock. I mean, big rocks in his mouth. And that was a very easy way to get choked very quickly. And so you have to watch out. Can a pet change form and reincarnate as a different pet? Like, could my former pet rabbit be my dog? The girl and they're gone. I don't think animals would have, if anybody was going to reincarnate, I don't know about animals. They're lower form on the spiritual scale. I don't know if they would reincarnate. I do not believe in reincarnation, by the way. But some people do. Some people believe in teaching that. I don't believe in it myself. I believe that, the spirits, from what I've seen in my own research and my own understanding of these things, and I've studied it for 55 plus years now. I've never seen any true cases of reincarnation. I think a lot of it is demonic, implanted memories and tricks, mind tricks that they pull on people and all that. I won't get into that tonight, but I think reincarnation has a lot of a sulfur smell to it in many aspects. I don't. When we reach a different spiritual echelons from what we are now, it will be through a different means rather than coming back and having to go over and over and over again and all that. I just don't buy that much. John Fulton, for your pet swallows something, you can feel it in their throat, push it back upwards, just lodge it. Only try this in emergencies where the pet will die if you do nothing. Absolutely, if he's absolutely choking and not, if his air passage is stopped up, you need to do something immediately for that because he can die very quickly. Absolutely, John. Just like any person would do. So. Jose, love that's good boy. Yes, he did grab that stick outside, but now she'll never touch another one. Gotta keep an eye on her. Yeah, but you give her some good toys to play with. But I'm always worried about some of these toys that cats and dogs are given because they're so small or pieces of them can come off. And Zach used to have a little stuffed lizard. He loved that thing. But he tore that thing to pieces. And eventually I had to take it away from him. He didn't like it, but I had to take it away from him because he would have swallowed the stuffing in it and it had a little squeaker in it. I said, oh no, that'd be the next thing he swallows. And Zach will be walking around squeaking all over the place if it don't choke him. So I had to take that away from him. So be very careful with those toys because some of them are not designed right. Chinese junk, some of it. Oh, yeah. We got way too much Chinese junk in this world, by the way. Wild Man's mom says it's a fight with all three of my dogs. One wants a stick, one wants a stick, and the small one wants Max Gator. The boss also wants the same stick. Yeah, they like to fetch. But I think the best thing they can fetch are balls instead of sticks. I'll tell you another thing about sticks, and I worry about in their mouth can actually cause sores or can tear their mouth a little bit. Sticks are not good. I don't like sticks. That happened to me. My dad came to me in a dream so real and said to stop worrying about him. He was in heaven and was okay. So there you go, Tess. I mean, you have these visitations, and I think animals do the visitation thing too. We call that, by the way, we call that a visitation apparition. It makes you feel good. I've had that happen to a lot of people, and I tell them, I said, did it scare you? They said, oh, no, that was my relative. It made me feel good. I said, oh, well, that's a gift for you. That's a God-given gift, a sign to show you, to comfort you, and to let you know things are good and everything's all right. That's a gift, a visitation apparition. Yeah. It was always stuck upwards in her soft pouch, so they had to remove it surgically. It was scary. She's in antibiotics for that hole. Whew, that had to hurt. Yeah, definitely. My dog's dream and I can snore and I move around like they're running in their sleep. Oh yeah, they're probably running after squirrels or something. They do. They have very vivid dreams. I have heard my dog bark in his sleep, and making noises and stuff, and it almost like we talk in our sleep. Sometimes people talk in their sleep. Sometimes, most of the time though, you can't understand it. Sometimes you can understand a word or two, Most of the time you can't understand if you hear somebody talking in their sleep. But animals do the same thing. Okay, animals do the same thing. Let's see, I don't either, but they do like to fight and play over it, but the ball gets hidden. If the ball gets hidden, yeah, they lose those balls all the time. I used to spend a lot of time looking for my dog's ball. Be under something somewhere. He had a very special favorite ball, and he would lose that thing all the time. He would go in the darndest places. So I ended up spending a lot of time looking for that ball. Wild Man's mom, I don't even, they do like to see my boss Gator. Okay, guy's named Gator. Okay. Sally T. Once had a black ghost dog run in front of the car one night. My sister was driving. She saw its wheel slammed on the brakes. It disappeared as we screamed. It literally dissipated. Yeah, I've heard of them doing that. They sort of like melt away, in that respect. Deers have power naps, standing up with their eyes open like in a trance. It's creepy to watch. Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah. Sharks do the same thing. Sharks never sleep. They have to move constantly or they will die. Certain animals, look at horses and cows. Although they do close their eyes when they sleep sometimes, I have known them to keep their eyes open as well, and they sleep standing up. Think about that. A lot of them. Now, horses and cows will lie down too, But a lot of times they'll sleep naps standing up. It may not be a full, complete sleep, but they'll nap standing up. Um, let's see what Aussie Sue says. JoJo, my son's little Jack Russell Bandit, runs and barks in his sleep, especially if he's been running around playing a lot. Yeah, they remember that. They're playing it over again in their mind. They have such fun with it, you know. They enjoy stuff like that. Animals are amazing things. To me, they are so fun to watch and to learn about. Wu Train Rider, hello, and salutation to you too. Welcome aboard. You're on the strange train now, Wu Train. Do you think it's spiritually wrong to keep their pellets and not bury them? Keep their pellets and not pallets and not bury them. Is that what you mean? Is that what you're talking about? I think, you know, if they love their bed, if that's what you're talking about, their beds, you know, it would be good. It would be, I think, symbolic to bury their bed with them. You know, I would, but that's personal choice. You know, 3 hours a night's max for a horse. That's what I was told. Yeah, probably because they're. A lot of animals, dogs are an exception in this, although some dogs are different than others, okay? Some breeds are different than others. But dogs, like that old saying, let sleeping dogs lie. They can sleep a long time, but cats, on the other hand, they just nap all night. They'll nap a little bit and then they're up. They move around constantly. That's just the way they are. They don't need long periods of sleep. I think a lot of times they're just resting to relax their muscles, you know, in that respect. The girl that calls I'm country girl hard too. You love feral animals and crows and ravens. I always wanted a pet raven I would name, or a crow or something like that. So I had a crow, I would name him Edgar Allan Crow. Okay. And have him sitting on that would be neat. I would. It would be a neat one. My father actually, when he was a boy, had a pet crow. I don't know what his name was, but he had a pet crow. I have a giant rabbit that rarely sleeps. Yeah, a lot of these animals, they just take naps. It's very strange how they do that, but they're the custom. That's just the way they are. But they say a lot of people, and I was reading this, just a little side note on this, people back in the Roman era actually would sleep. Now listen to this. They would actually go to bed about like 8 o'clock at night, okay? As soon as the sun went down or whatever. They would go to bed, and then in the middle of the night, they would wake up, say like around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. They'd get up a couple of hours, do some stuff, and then go back to bed and wake up in the morning. You know, that was a kind of a routine they had. People don't do that anymore, of course, but well, I do sometimes. I've known to do that once in a while. But that is an interesting sleep pattern when you think about it, you know. But I imagine they got a lot of stuff done in certain aspects doing that, especially when things were quiet in the middle of the night, nobody to bother you. My tat shop was called. I had a tax raven on the arch. Oh yeah, Edgar Allan Crow. Yeah, it would be good. Yeah. My cats are so fat they sleep a lot. They're lazy cats, huh? Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, there is such thing as being lazy, I guess. Definitely. I'm getting old and lazy myself, so there you go. Taxidermy animals is creepy to me. Yeah, well, it can. It doesn't bother me. I've seen a lot of it, but you know, I guess it does bother some people, like clowns do, and certain other things. Depends on what your phobia is. A lot of people don't like the taxidermy thing because the animal is kind of like staring at them all the time. You know, why does it keep looking at me? I think it has a little bit to do with it. It's a psychological factor, I think. Freaky geek, good to have you here. Anyway, the ghost animal thing is a very fascinating thing, you know, and I think without a doubt, sometimes our pets do not leave us. And that's a good thought to think that, you know, they love you that much that even in death, they won't leave you. That's good, I think. To me, that makes them, that kind of gives them a better spin to me, you know, the animals. That is real, true, unconditional love, is it not? Without a doubt. But it is an interesting thing, and there's a lot of other kind of ghost animals. Look at the headless horseman of Sleepy Hollow. He was riding what? A ghost horse all the time. You never hear too much about his horse, but he had a ghost horse. There you go. So the horse was part of the ghost thing. So he must have had a real bond with his horse, definitely. Philip says they even make possible frames for pet taxidermy for folks who want that. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. My brother actually had a stuffed wildcat that he had taxidermy. It was a creepy looking thing. The way it was laying there was taxidermy, like it was kind of laying down looking at you and everything. The girl are gone, loves forever without pets and wild animal friends. Oh yeah, love is a very strong and powerful emotion. It's one of the strongest things, bonds in the universe, without a doubt. One time we had a pet sitter come to meet the cats, and I saw mind's eye a white cat looking over her shoulder. When I told her she was startled, told about a beloved white cat she had. There you go. He was still with her, wasn't he? He was still lingering there. And Ghost Riders in the Sky and Wildfire, great songs. Oh, yeah, they have a lot to do with the animals. The ghost herd of cows driving through the sky with the Ghost Riders. And Wildfire is one of my favorite ghost stories, definitely. She comes down Yellow Mountain. Over the dark flat land she rides. On a pony she named Wildfire, with a whirlwind by her side. A great song. And a really spooky one. Kind of a really interesting ghost story. I love the part where it says there's been a hoot owl howling by window now for 6 nights in a row. She's coming to me, I know. Great ghost story. Anna says I have one cat was around 4 weeks old. Let's see if I lost that. Hold on. This thing is running weird tonight. StreamYard gets wild sometimes. I don't know. I think they're having fun with. I have one cat that was around 6 weeks old from a freeway rat. These things are huge. Oh yeah. Oh, okay. We have field rats around here where I live. They are big. They can get very big. They would even scare the cats a little bit, I think. Wildman's mom, my Stormy is way fat and long and stays at least 25, 35 pounds. You won't jump high and has to wind up to jump. I guess so. He's carrying a lot of weight there, without a doubt. I was at Grasshopper when my dead pets were alive, ran up to me, they ran over me, and they wanted me to know they still love me. Well, that's good. It's good that these things, have that bond with us, without a doubt. Tell us from the dark side. The dark side, Wildman's mama sounds like a big baby. Yep, I think so. Just like New York City rats. Yeah. We used to have in the South here. We have palmetto bugs. Man, they get big roach bugs. I mean, they are big. So you have some big stuff like that, and the sewer rats. They can get big. I've actually seen some of them. I said it was almost the size of cats. Really, they get big, huge. Yeah. Wildman's mama have a 15-pound blue Russian. I bet it's a beautiful, beautiful animal. I can't put a bird bath out also because it will attract snakes. Oh yeah. Snakes like to hang out because they get the birds. He isn't. Let's see. Okay. But we've all, I think, heard or at least experienced this thing with pets and animals and all. And then there is a flip side to this. Look at all of the reports of these strange animals like griffins, tigers that are being seen where there should be no tigers, black panthers, all these other animals. Some of them, and I've talked about this theory before, some of this stuff that people may see may be the actual ghost of these animals from years ago. Like if they see a mammoth or something that we know this doesn't probably still exist. Could this be some type of a ghost animal that they're seeing, or what we call a residual haunting. In other words, it's almost like a film looking back in time. Maybe some of these dinosaur sightings of that. Maybe some of these petrosaur sightings that people have. Some of these plesiosaurs they see in the sky and all this stuff. Maybe some of these are ghost animals, okay, that people are experiencing. I know a lot of these things sometimes are seen in the Australian outback that they should not be there. I just have to wonder if maybe we're like getting a glimpse of the past or something, you know? Uh, let's see. I have a neighborhood cat that naps by the bird feeder and bird bath in my yard. He knows where to go. Definitely. I noticed my cat Ghost the other day. He likes to lay out in the sun. He'll get out in the backyard and lay out in the sun. He enjoys that. When he's not chasing the girl cats. Let's see. Hysterical birds are too smart. Birds are very smart animals. I'll tell you, one of the smartest of all are the ravens and the crows. They actually use tools. They actually recognize faces. They are very brilliantly smart animals. More than people realize. I've actually seen crows drop nuts on the highway to bust the nuts to go down and eat them. And they will watch out for cars. They're smart. They're not stupid at all. No, they are very smart, and they like to steal shiny stuff. I've always wanted to find a crow's nest because if you find a crow's nest, it's no telling what you might find in it, like rings or some chains or bracelets. It's almost like a little pirate treasure chest kind of thing. And they are pirates in the sky, crows and ravens. They like the shiny stuff. They kind of like some women I know. They like shiny stuff. Magpies are smart too. Oh yeah, magpies. Yeah, they're definitely smart. Like I said, science writes them off as being so much lower than us. I think it's the arrogance of mankind. They're so stupid. We're so much smarter than they are. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't believe that. Mm-mm. Oh my God, I'll see feeding the birds and having good food for them. Oh yeah, I have a lot of bird feeders in my yard. I enjoy watching birds. I love to watch them get in there and clean themselves, and take a little bath. You know, I love to watch that. Birds are fascinating to watch. Birds have their own language and their own way about doing things, and believe it or not, they are actually kin to dinosaurs. Okay, according to science. When the pine comes open, the big black cockatoos come, means rain's coming. Ah, okay. Kind of a bird sign. You know, that's what I said last week. I've done a lot of research out in the field. I've been in a lot of woods and forests. Spent many, many hours out there. And I watch nature, okay? I watch the birds. I even watch insects. I watch all these things around me because if you pay attention, they will tell you things. Or let you know what's going on around you. They are part of the environment. And to ignore that is stupid because they can tell you so much. And if you pay attention, they can teach you so much. And the animal kingdom can tell us so much if we'd only open ourselves up to it. That's the way it goes. And that's true, Crystal. Hit that like button, and subscribe and share, okay? Everybody, if you're on here tonight and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We're over 400. We're climbing, okay? We're getting there. It's a slow climb, but we'll make it. I don't think we'll ever make 7,000 on it. But I'll probably never live that long. But we're getting there, okay? We're working on it. So the more subscribers you get, the better. And I'm going to start trying to advertise Hunting the Shadows and Paranormal point of view more than I can, okay? I haven't really had a lot of time to devote to doing that, and especially the Midnight Road when I get it going. I'm going to be promoting those a lot. So you'll probably get sick and tired of hearing it, okay? But I got to get it out there because it's like selling the car. Nobody will ever buy it unless they know it's for sale. So that's the way you got to do it. It is a little bit of a self-promotion, but you have to do that. It's just like trying to sell books and stuff. You have to promote it or nobody will ever know it's there, you know? And I want to thank everybody who have bought my books. I really appreciate that. It helps out a lot. You know, I have a lot of expenses on doing this stuff. Okay, none of this StreamYard stuff and none of this podcast stuff is free, folks. Okay, all of this costs, so there are expenses to it. So any way you can help is really greatly appreciated. Okay, don't think it's not, because it does. It helps me, and of course, me and my situation, financial situation. I have no savings. I have nothing. I live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, that's my sad situation. So I'm on a very tight budget. Okay, so anything you can do to help, buy books or whatever, is greatly appreciated. Okay, don't think it's not. I'm not here to get rich. If that was the case, boy, am I in the wrong place. But I'm not going to be on Musk here thing. Okay, that's not going to happen. But we do have expenses, and just like I had to buy just recently, spend some of my money to buy a new router was $75 on that. So this is very expensive stuff, over time. So anything you can do to help in any way, whatever way possible, monetary, otherwise, believe me, is greatly appreciated. And if we can get up to 1,000 subscribers, then I can maybe have a patron, or maybe we can help. That will bring in a little more monetary thing on that. We've got to get there. Okay, we're halfway there, almost halfway there. Okay, so that's good. We're getting up on top of the mountain. Okay, coming down the highway to high strangeness. Wild Man's mom, yes, Blue Jays will pull your hair out. Blue Jays can be mean. I've run into them. They can be mean. They have another name. They used to call them Jayhawks. They were almost hawk-like in the way that they run, and they can. I'll tell you another bird that can get kind of mean with you, and that's a mockingbird. I've seen them actually run cats out of yards. Mockingbirds can get rough. And of course, I have seen crows attack hawks. I've seen it with my own eyes. So yeah, they can get rough when they need to. I'll share your videos on Facebook. Well, thank you, Girl or Gong. That will be greatly appreciated. The more we share out, the better. The more we get out there, the more we can stretch out, the better. And we're all one big family here. Okay, that's the way we look at it. And I said this before. I always say it again. This is your podcast too. Okay, it's not just me getting on here running my mouth. You're a part of this. Okay, or I wouldn't have it any other way. All right. I want you all to be part of this. And that means you have a voice. Okay. Without a doubt. That's one big thing with me. I believe everybody in this whole wide world, no matter who you are, your voice deserves to be heard. Okay. Don't ever forget that. That is a principle set by your almighty creator. Your voice should be heard. Everybody's voice. And this is one way to do it. Okay. That you there and I have a minute. I'll give you something. I'm off the grid and have a stalker now. I'm 18 years in the making. Okay. And I'll stick around as long as you don't use super glue. Well, I don't know. I've been thinking about that super glue, but it never holds long. But anyway, and a lot of subjects, including paranormal subjects. Philip F. definitely. The best mind in the world is a widely read mind. The more you learn, the more perspectives you see out of other people's eyes. That's why I named my other show Paranormal Point of View. The more perspectives you have, the more your horizons are stretched. It's a great way to live, okay? Once upon a time, my friends, I could knock 10 books out a week. I have around me now thousands of books. A lot of people have said to me, "You read every one of those?" Yes, some of them more than once. Okay, some of them many times. I love books. I've always loved books because they let me see through other eyes and experience things that I would never normally get to experience. I get to feel and touch those people that wrote these books and their experiences in it. That is a great feeling. There's nothing in this whole world that equals that. To heck with drugs and alcohol, that's my kind of stuff right there that I like to get hooked on, okay? Without a doubt. Wow, the fonts seem to be so much smaller than they used to be. Well, it happens when you get older. Look for the big fonts. Kindle is great in that way. I don't know if you have a Kindle, the Kindle Pro. All you gotta do is download the Kindle thing to whatever you know. And all of my books are on Kindle too, by the way. The Kindle is great because you can control it and you can make it bigger. You can turn the pages with it. It's great. I like the way it's set up. It's one of the best inventions. Although I'm an old school, I like a real book. Okay. And by the way, this Friday I will be reviewing that book by Gary Wayne, the Genesis 6 conspiracy thing. I will be reviewing that for you folks, okay? And I think you're going to find it a very interesting review. And also, I'm going to be telling you about two great movies Friday night. You're going to want to find out about them. And one of them I highly recommend. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, okay? I might have to issue a list of my 10 favorite movies. And this is at the top. You're going to want to find out about this movie and you're going to want to check it out because I highly, highly recommend it. And I've got another one I reviewed that I'm going to talk about. Now, both of these movies, I'll tell you the names of them. The one that I love the most is called The Night of the Demon, or also called Curse of the Demon. Depends on which one. The Night of the Demon I like because it's slightly longer. It's got a few more scenes in it that weren't cut out. Night of the Demon is a fantastic movie. If you have never seen it, watch it. You cannot live the rest of your life without watching this movie, okay? And the second movie I'm going to be talking about is a new one that's out. It's called Dark Was the Night. Great monster movie. We're going to talk about that Friday. So don't forget, come back Friday with Paranormal Point of View, okay? You don't want to miss this one. And we also are going to talk about Friday night, continuing my series, When the Paranormal Strikes Back. Things can happen to you sometimes if you look too deep into the darkness, folks. We're going to talk about that some more Friday night. So you don't want to miss Paranormal Point of View. That's Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, okay? Be there or be square and be aware, or whatever the case may be. TSH, where can I find your books for purchase? My books are for purchase on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. Okay, all you gotta do is look up Dennis W. Carroll, and it will take you to my books.
Here is a biography.
Just put Dennis W. Carroll books.
Who is recognized for his viral dance videos, sketches, modeling
Amazon
clips,
going off right now.
Content. Short videos have earned him over 900,000 fans on the app and over 26 million likes.
Thank you.
Anytime.
She's always got to get a word in. You look it up by Dennis W. Carroll, and it will put books at the end of it, and it will take you straight to it. Okay, I have 4 books available on Amazon, and also, like I said, they're also available as a Kindle. If you don't want to, do that, you can go that route with it too. But they're also on Barnes and Noble as well. So check it out. Yeah, the Free Geek. That's my girl from down on the Amazon. She talks sometimes. She's listening. I forgot to turn her off. I usually turn it off when I do a show, but I forgot to turn it off this time. So if you mention her name, she's always got to have a word in edgewise. Anyway, yeah, she's a spy too. Yeah, one of the big spies, I think. Here's the good thing about it. Most of them have an off button, and that's the good part of it. But you have to wonder sometimes even the off button works, if you know what I mean. Ann says I have several books, 11. Thank you, dear. Glad you enjoyed them. And like I say, I enjoyed writing. I think we need to create a club with that name for real. Okay. Yeah, trying to take over the podcast. Yep, she's known to do that once in a while. I like that joke, about the guy. I said the guy, he told his wife. The wife says, "Why aren't we whispering?" And the guy says, "Because of Alexa and because of some of these other things, And she said, and he said, Alexa laughed, Siri laughed, Facebook laughed. They were all listening to him. That's the way it goes. Thank you. That's the way it goes. Dr. Carroll, Rob G contacted you about appearing on the social dig. No, I haven't heard anything from that, Rob. Rob. No. I'll have to check. I'll have to check my messages and see. Alexa, Chairman, I greet her when I return home. Give her self-esteem points. Yeah. Well, actually, I have these set up around the house to turn my lights off and on. That's about the only thing I ever really use them for. Play music once in a while, but that's the only thing I ever use them. They turn my lights on and off. But I'm just lazy that way, I guess. Alexa has an Australian accent. There you go. You can give them different ones. They have different accents. Mine has a British accent, actually, for some reason. Actually, up until here recently, you could tell her to guard the house while you're gone, but now you got to pay for that. They're losing money big time on it, and they're trying to come up with ways because nobody will buy anything through them. That's what it was all supposed to be, a link to the marketplace. You could tell her to buy something for you or whatever, and nobody's doing that. So they're losing money big time on this stuff, and so they're trying to do certain things. Now they're going to make you pay for certain things. Now, I noticed on Prime now will charge you $3 if you watch a Prime movie. Now you pay to have Prime. Now they want to charge you $3 extra to watch a movie without commercials. So it's a gimmick. It's always money, money, money. That's what it's all about. My phone's the only one who listens to me. I talk about something and boom, the phone shows me about it and I'm talking to my partner. Oh yeah, they can get in the way. Wow, Miss Mom, definitely big time. Any random your phone in the room and watch ads suddenly appear for what you discuss. Oh yeah, it's all a gimmick. It's all connected, definitely without a doubt. I was talking about something the other day and then later my phone popped that out. I'm up on one of my social media in order to. Oh yeah, because it happens all the time. Yeah, is he recording canvas for the government? I've asked her some crazy questions, but I never get ignorant. Some people can actually ask her when there's a thing going on. I don't know if you've seen this, where you can ask her when World War III is going to start. She says next year, and it's going to start between NATO and Russia. I asked that, and they never said that to me. I don't know. I think a lot of this stuff's gimmicks that people come up with. Commercials are good for bathroom breaks or getting the snacks and drink. That's about it. Yeah. That's the only thing. I never watch commercials that much unless I have to. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We have fun, and it was an interesting subject, ghost animals. And you better tune in next week, see what else I'm going to come up with. It should be interesting. I'm going to have some guests on pretty soon, okay? Don't count me out on that. I'm going to be lining some people up with some guests. So that is in the future as well. So it's not going to just be me running my mouth at you all the time. I'm sure you get tired of hearing that. And but anyway, I like the one-on-one connection. That's what I like about it. It's just like good friends sitting around over a cup of coffee and chatting. We get things done. Love hanging out with all of you, Millie says. We love to hang out with you. And it's great. It's great to have this camaraderie, and we all have something in common. We have things that interest us together, and we can talk about it, and and we can disagree. Oh yeah, that's the way it goes. But I'm from the old school. I'm not like they are nowadays. Whether I agree or disagree with you does not mean I'm going to hate your guts for it, okay? I mean, you have an opinion. I value your opinion. I have one. I hope you value mine. That's the way it should be. And I will fight to the death your right to say what you need to say, because that's being an American, okay? And so if you disagree with me, I'm not going to get mad at you and scream at you. Although I may argue with you about it. That doesn't mean I hate you, okay? I'm not going to hate you for it, because everybody should have an opinion. Like I said earlier, everybody in this world deserves a voice. No voice should be stilted. No voice should be halted. No voice should be stopped. Everybody deserves that, no matter who you are. past 1K subs in his watch hours to get monetized. There you go, Mike. I'm going to put you up. Great idea, my friend. Let's do that so we can really start stretching on out there and really get some stuff done, okay? That's Roger. Hello, Roger Carroll. Lead you to the replay, okay? Laughter is the best. So, yeah, we have fun times. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight, definitely. And I appreciate your support, without a doubt. Like I said, we're a family. You are part of this podcast. Don't ever forget that. And you are family. You are greatly appreciated. I appreciate everything you do for me and for this podcast, and the support that you give us is tremendously appreciated. Don't ever think it's not. And I really do appreciate that. And I appreciate you spending your time with me. Time is the most valuable thing that we all have. It is more precious than gold and diamonds, okay? Time. And time is what we spend together is always well spent, okay? And I really appreciate you all here being here tonight. And don't forget now, Friday night, 8 o'clock. Same bat time, same bat channel as they used to say on Batman. And I talked about Batman a little bit today on Jessica's show. If you can be anybody, be Batman. Okay, yeah, definitely. Or Batwoman, as the case may be. But anyway, Friday night, 8 o'clock, Paranormal Point of View. The doors of perception are open, okay? And wait till you see what we get into Friday night, because you're going to enjoy it, I think. So be here for that, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the week, what's left of it. And going into Friday, let's all kind of just ease into it, okay? And I hope to see you all there, and you take care. Keep that head on a swivel. Watch everything going on around you. Be good to those animals, and they'll be good to you. And take care until we get together again. And remember, Semper Veritas, Nos Adventus Quartus. That means we adventure forth. Carpe Noctem, seize the night, and embrace the mystery. Hunting the shadows. Thank you.